dudes with attitudes, let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday, back to represent. Two dudes with attitudes, yeah, here comes the main event. Every week it's the dudes from the east and the west, breaking down everything you've seen and the best of the best. Came together on TikTok, hit it off from the jump, now they never gon' stop. Shooting star, PRS, you can hit the follow. My wrestling opinion is someone you should all know, and they call him MWO. Yeah, it's rich on the flow, and I thought you should know. Two dudes in the mood that be dropping the jewels. This is not for the fools, this is just how we do. Talking WWE, no one is touching the team. Cool, calm, collected, the method to be. You can hit the 5 stars when it's time to rate on whatever platforms. Two dudes, get it straight, yeah?
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, a WWE edition. We were just talking about AEW. It threw me off. WWE edition.
Thought you were going to say a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, I should have done it, dang it. I messed it up. All right, let's retake. But yes, what's going on? Have you told Homeboy yet that he has to redo both of our theme songs in like a week?
He's aware. He's aware.
Okay.
I don't know if I haven't told him the deadline, but I told him, hey, you're gonna have to redo our intro.
Tell him tomorrow. All right. So anyway, just kidding. He's amazing. As always, I'm the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO, and with me, as always, is the king of Sami Zayn, Shooting Star Press. What's going on, my man?
Oh, it was a good week in WWE. It was they had a solid Smackdown, Raw delivered, NXT was good. So yeah, we're living the high life over here.
I agree. And I'm only up to Collision on AEW, but I'm gonna say as of right now, NXT once again was the best show of the week so far. I haven't seen Dynamite yet, and Collision was good. Rampage was all right, but I haven't seen Battle of the Belts yet. But I actually am gonna say that I think NXT is winning it again. I thought it was a really good show. I actually thought SmackDown and Raw was a really good show when I was looking back to catch up on notes and such of things I missed. They didn't get very good reviews as I thought they could have, but I thought they were pretty good. So, you ready to get into it? You ready to talk about some SmackDown?
Always, man.
Layeth the smacketh down on your candy ass. All right, let's get into it. SmackDown was a jam-packed show. And we are once again getting some bloodline stories up in here again, where it's like 6 months all over again. But I am going to start the mood off wrong. Are you ready?
Bring it on, man.
Are you ready? You're supposed to say, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want to talk about a man by the name of L.A. Knight. Yeah. And I might make some people mad. I might make some people happy or agree. I'm not going to bash him fully, but I do want to talk about him, and he's going to be my main discussion point of today's episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes. And he opened up the show with Paul Heyman this week, and he wanted himself some Roman Reigns to come out. You heard me right. He wanted Roman Reigns to come out, and Roman Reigns did not come out. So yeah, he had Paul Heyman come in after he told him to leave, told him to come back, and then he said yeah to him 100 times. He looked like an idiot again, dressed up. I don't know how anyone's digging his look. And basically, he's going to beat Roman Reigns at the Saudi show, Crown Jewel. Here's my thing with LA Knight. Are you ready? You feeling me? You're going to be with me on this?
As much as I can.
I'm sorry to break it to everybody. I know I have not been a fan of his yet. And I did like him in NXT. Should I even liked him as a male model? I dug him in Impact or TNA. I have dug him a lot. I don't fully get him right now. And here's why. I talked about it briefly last week. Here's my thing. For one, he ain't that guy. If you for 1 second think that he's the throating Roman Reigns at all, then get the out of this podcast. Don't stop listening now. Yeah. I know Shooting Stars be like, no, don't do that. We need
Hey,
get out of here. If you, I'm sorry. If you think he's that guy, if you think a Sami Zayn wouldn't have thrown him, or a Jey Uso or Cody at Mania, but you think they're going to give it to a one-hit wonder, you heard me, a one-hit wonder. And yes, I know Bully Ray had talked about him being a one-hit wonder, or if he was on their podcast, but I'm not going to say he's a one-hit wonder, but I'm going to say he's too new. He's too green right now in his character that he is creating. I know he's been in the business for 47 years, but here's my thing with him, right? If he beat Roman Reigns, right, at Crown Jewel, They would be doing it for the pop that night. Okay. What are you going to do with him afterwards? Here's the thing. I want to know who Roman Reigns is as a character, right? Who is he? Or not Roman Reigns, LA Knight. Who is LA Knight? Because we haven't gotten anything from him other than he was a male model and now he's not. And he's LA Knight. Yeah. All he literally says is, yeah, 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 yeah. When The Rock was doing when The Rock was doing one-hit wonders, right? Liners like, do you smell what The Rock, candy ass, jabronis? He was already established. When Stone Cold started doing his one thing, liners, we already said this. He was already established. We already kind of knew who he was and where his background was in both of them, kind of how they got brought up. Anybody who's kind of come into this light was already there. LA Knight is not there yet. He's just some dude that just got hot. And now they're placing him against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, claiming that he is the hottest thing in the world. But I want you to tell me after this is, who is LA Knight? Where is he from? What's his background? Why
LA.
is he win? Why, right? Why am I supposed to support him all of a sudden and hope that he beats? Because if he beats Roman Reigns, what happens the next night on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, whatever he's going to be on? What happens? Where do we go from there? Absolutely. There's nowhere to go. I feel like if you are truly an LA Knight fan, you should be disappointed in the fact that he's wrestling Roman Reigns, because I think he's about to get the Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn treatment. And you can say, well, Drew's about to fight for a title. Sami Zayn headlined night one. Well, he didn't headline for him. You listen to that pop Sami Zayn got when he wrestled Roman Reigns. Go listen to that pop Drew McIntyre got when he wrestled Roman Reigns. Listen to their pops now. And I know you're gonna say right now, well, it was their hometowns, but no. Those pops should have carried over. I think after LA Knight jobs to Roman Reigns, he's gonna get the same exact treatment. Here's one more thing: when The Rock won the title finally. When Triple H won the title finally, when Stone Cold won the title finally, what did they all have before they won the World Championship, Shooting Star? What's something they probably gained or won before then? You want to name some things? An IC title, a King of the Ring, a Royal Rumble. Tell me one thing LA Knight has won in WWE.
He won the Slim Jim Battle Royal at SummerSlam.
Congratulations. Woo! So what I'm saying is,
this is happening. It's happening.
You're going to tell me that crown jewel of all things that LA Knight's going to win and beat Roman Reigns, and that this is good for LA Knight. I don't understand how this is good for LA Knight. If you think it's because he's going to get a good rub or anything, no. I think people are former $1 million champ. That was an NXT, bro. We don't talk about that. That's like we don't talk about Bruno. What I'm trying to say is that I do have hope in LA Knight. But for right now, the only thing I get out of him is that he looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He talks like Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he can't carry a promo like Stone Cold Steve Austin because Stone Cold Steve Austin used to talk about other things. LA Knight says, yeah, and that's about it. And I'm supposed to feel intrigued by him or that he's somebody. I have no idea who LA Knight is, why people should invest in him. I just think this is all a bad idea. And I think his last two promos, the one with Roman and this one that he just had, is literally the same exact thing. John Cena was in the same boat, won the U.S. title. 100%. 100%. He's done nothing. Gunther deserves it more. So this is where I'm trying to get at, is I think this is the wrong move I get he's red hot, but have him defeat Gunther. That would have been the best move. Have him defeat Rey Mysterio. That would have been the best move. And have him hold that title and carry that into WrestleMania. Have his WrestleMania moment with the secondary. And next year, maybe face a Roman Reigns, a Cody Rhodes, or whoever else has the title. Am I wrong? Am I just hating? Because I want what's good for him. I'm just not. I don't get him right now. I don't get why a guy who wears stupid glasses and tight clothes and says, yeah, it's supposed to be the guy who beats Roman Reigns, or I should be invested in him.
Yeah. No, I love LA Knight. And I want to see him. I've been saying it since day one-ish of this podcast that I think he should be the one to dethrone Roman. You have. And the reason why I feel that way, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is because it should be a star-making moment. And LA Knight's already kind of a star, but this would take him from here to that next level stratosphere of dethroning Roman Reigns. And then we would see his character really develop and see what he's made of. But I also fully agree with you that right now, I still think it's too soon for him to be facing Roman Reigns. I wanted to see him earn up, build up to it, win the IC title.
Why not the Rumble? Why not Royal Rumble?
Yeah, win the US title, win the IC title, win the Royal Rumble, do main event WrestleMania, go after Seth Rollins, go after Gunther, dethrone, like do something. But yeah, this feels way too soon, and it may. I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna see how he loses, because do the Usos get, or does Jimmy Uso get involved again? Does Solo get involved again? Is this going to be the only match? Is this going to lead to a rematch at Survivor Series or a rematch at the Rumble again or something? I don't know, but it's way too soon for him to be facing Roman Reigns. WWE, we criticize them all the time for not listening to the fans and striking when the iron's hot. But this time, I think they maybe struck a little too soon. They listened to them a little too soon. And I wanted to, like, I said in a TikTok video I made last week that people called me delusional on, but I said that LA Knight hasn't done anything this year. He lost to Bray Wyatt at the Rumble.
He hasn't.
In a match that was critically panned by everybody. It was an awful match. He lost. He didn't wrestle at WrestleMania. He didn't win Money in the Bank. He did win the Slim Jim Battle Royal. Whoop-de-doo. And then he beat The Miz at Payback. And then him and John Cena beat Solo and Jimmy Uso at Fastlane. And that's it. That's really all LA Knight has done on pay-per-view this year. So he hasn't done much. And for him to be the one now to dethrone Roman, I know it's not going to happen at Crown Jewel, but I am a little concerned about what happens. Not only if he does dethrone Roman, what happens next, but what's going to happen next when he loses to Roman? What's next for LA Knight? Where does he go? Because he came out and cut a promo a few weeks ago saying he was going after a title. Now he's going after the top prize in all of wrestling, and he's going to come up. He's going to lose. He's going to come up short. So where does he go from there? Does he go to the back of the line? Is he going to get the Chad Gable treatment again that we're seeing on Raw, where he's back to being a comedy character with Tozawa joining the Alpha Academy instead of going after the IC title? Like, what's going to happen next when LA Knight loses? And that's what has me a little concerned.
I agree. And Patrick over here calling me a hater, I had to laugh at that. Here's the thing, right? And also, I think if he wins, everyone loses. Cody Rhodes loses. Roman Reigns loses. And he loses because he's not ready. Once again, he has no character, no story. You got to build him up first. And the only thing he's done right now is have the crowd cheer for him and chant his name. That's literally it. And That'd be like me saying Dirty Dom should be the world champ right now because he got the most heat than anybody. No, he's not ready. He's not ready for that. Nah, he ain't ready for that world title yet. But he's done more than he has. At least he's a champ currently and a tag team champ. And he's won belts. LA Knight has literally done nothing but have the crowd chant LA Knight. Yeah, that's all he's done.
Yeah, and I kind of have a theory that maybe the WWE is listening to the crowd, so they shut the crowd up, because last year they ran into the Sami Zayn Cody Rhodes issue on the road to WrestleMania, where people felt that Sami Zayn should be inserted into the WrestleMania main event, and it should be a triple threat because Sami Zayn was super over. Cody Rhodes didn't fit into the story of. He was randomly placed into the WrestleMania main event in between the bloodline breaking up and then in between the same. So people were cheering for Sami Zayn. People were cheering for Cody Rhodes. And I think maybe WWE is trying to get ahead of that by saying, okay, people are cheering for LA Knight. We'll give him Roman Reigns. That way, when the Rumble gets here, it's all Cody Rhodes. So maybe that's what they're doing.
We shall see. All right. I'm done with my rant. What's next?
So I have a question for you. Okay. But on SmackDown, we saw John Cena come out, and he came out and he said that it's been a long time since he won a singles match, which I thought was a really thing. He said it has been 2002 days since he won a televised singles match, and that his last singles win was 2018. And I found that really hard to believe, but apparently it's true because he never wrestles on TV. He just cuts promos, and when he does wrestle, it's tag team matches. But he seemingly he kind of teased retirement and said that he's really done everything he can do. There's really nothing left to accomplish, yada yada yada. And then last week we saw Pretty Deadly with they have Elton Strong, and the guy with the broken shoulder is now in a wheelchair. And then this week John Cena's teasing retirement, and last week on Dynamite we saw Sting announce his retirement. So do you think that WWE is kind of taking some minor shots at AEW, like subtle shots because of those tweets that Tony Khan made about John Cena and The Undertaker, calling Shawn Michaels and Triple H bald assholes, everything about WWE tampering with his employees. So now, and then touting about the Title Tuesday and the ratings and everything like that, to where WWE is like, okay, anything you guys can do, we can do better. So now you have your icon retiring. We're going to have our icon tease a retirement. You have your one of your most over guys doing Next Strong. We're going to have one of our most over guys doing Elton Strong. And, whatever you do, whatever you guys can do, we can do better. You think there's anything to that? Because I'm kind of thinking there might be something. Everyone's playing the whole WWE's teasing CM Punk stuff. I'm looking out for shots at AEW, and I think they're doing it.
Well, if they're going to do shots at AEW, the key one is CM Punk coming back.
Yeah.
It's so hard because I've always said that, WWE is in its own atmosphere, right? They're so far.
I don't think they're going to acknowledge
more
AEW
than
by
AEW.
name.
So but that means Triple H is paying attention, right? Because to come up with those kind of things, that means he has to be watching the product. And do I think Triple H watches the product? Yeah, probably. I don't buy into like what Eric Bischoff said all those years that during the Attitude Era, I never watch WWE. I had no idea what was going on. I just worried about WCW. I don't buy that at all.
But yeah, you knew that Mick Foley won the WWE.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And I love me some Eric Bischoff. So that's not even a diss. It's just what he had stated. But yeah, possibly they could be. I mean, it could also be John Cena saying it because he has no idea what's going on because he obviously left due to the strike and eventually he's gonna have to go back and then disappear. And I mean, and for him to say he has nothing left to prove, well, yeah, you do, because you want to beat Ric Flair's record of having the most title reigns ever.
You're just like one away, I think.
Yeah, and this is the only time in the history of John Cena that the fans have like cheered him and not booed him. I don't think he gets any kind of Cena sucks anymore. I think he only gets cheered now. So I mean, this is the first time he's been loved. But yeah, I don't know. You know what? You asked me a question. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Triple H. I'm gonna say they're throwing little shots here and there. Why not? Let's have some fun. And Triple H is that good dude. He's the guy who attacked WCW on a Nitro with a tank. So so why not? So
he called it a pissant company to Billy Gunn's face at the Hall of Fame. He called it a second tier promotion on Cody Rhodes' documentary on. So he's watching. So yeah, and I think and there was something from one of the dirt sheets out there that said that when they saw those tweets from Tony Khan, WWE treated that like as an act of war. And so I don't know if I believe that, but at the same time, them doing Elton Strong at the same time we have Next Strong going on, and then John Cena retiring the same time that Sting retired. It's kind of like, okay, maybe this is a little bit of a girth measuring contest.
Ooh. between Tony Khan and Triple H, because I think I know who wins that one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, here's the thing is that if he is doing it, now's the right time, because rumor has it, and all these fake I don't know if they're real pictures or what, but like AEW is having events in empty arenas now, and nobody gives a crap. Their ratings are obviously down. I don't know how true that is, but once again, I want AEW to survive. So I mean, we need it to survive. So Tony Khan, get it together, and if Triple H is doing that, then that's all fun and games, and hopefully that just makes Tony Khan work a little bit harder and less running his mouth. Speaking of something that works harder and Triple H is doing pretty well at is Logan Paul. And I want to talk about Logan Paul's promo. I also want to talk about wrestling fans in general. So Logan Paul's a dude who has come to the WWE. He's had 4 matches now. Every single match is a banger. And he's probably had the 3 to 4, whatever many matches he's had. His first 3 or 4 matches are better than any Hall of Famers first 3 or 4 matches they had. I'll put that on record in blood. Tell me I'm wrong. Go find Shawn Michaels' first 4 matches. Go find Triple H's first 4 matches. The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan. Go find their first 4 matches, and you tell me they're anywhere near the quality and how great Logan Paul's first 4 matches are. This dude has put in dedication, time, effort. He keeps calling himself a W. He literally had a boxing match which had probably good views and called out Rey Mysterio. If you're going to tell me he's not a dude invested in the WWE, you are mad. And the fact that fans are anti him and they're not like anti him, like, boo, you're a heel. They're anti him, like, what do him, like they're doing Ronda Rousey. This dude is invested. He is good for WWE. And you know how many eyeballs he's going to put on Crown Jewel once again, like last year he did when he faced Roman.
Yeah.
And if he wins that US title, you know how many eyeballs he's going to put on the WWE product? Huh? My son who loves Prime, everybody loves. I work with kids, K through 7th grade. Every single one of them drink Prime. I ask them why they drink Prime because of Logan Paul. That's their answer every single time. You know how many of those kids watch wrestling? None. You know how many are going to start watching wrestling? If he's a champ and promoting Prime, probably 50 to 70% of them. So that puts more eyeballs on the product. And he's somebody who wants what's good for WWE. He's invested in being a superstar. Why hate on him? It's like he's exactly what people did with The Miz. And look how people treat The Miz now. Grow up, wrestling fans. Grow up. But Logan Paul, not only has he like had a smooth transition in the ring, he's had a smooth transition on the mic. This dude's promos are out of this world. His promo dogging Rey Mysterio, ignoring the what chance, he never misses a beat. You know how many professionals miss beats when they get the what chance? He never misses a beat.
No.
He came out, Rey Mysterio was fumbling his words when he came out. Homeboy was starstruck. One of the greatest of all time was starstruck looking at Logan Paul. Great stuff. I just want to give kudos to where kudos is due. And I'm going to talk about him again on Raw, but Logan Paul's it, y'all. I said LA Knight ain't it. Logan Paul's it, y'all. And he should win the US title. The end. Mic drop.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Logan Paul is exactly what that US title needs. My only concern with Logan Paul winning the US championship, you already have Roman who's not there regularly. And now you're going to have Logan Paul who's not there regularly, holding your top 2 prizes on the Smackdown brand at least. And so what are the people going to compete for if they're not there regularly? But I'm sure WWE's prepared for that. I'm sure they have a plan for something. You know, you have a brand split now, so they can do some trades or something. But that's the only concern that I have, is that Logan Paul may not be around at, you know, he may not be at Survivor Series. He'll probably be at the Rumble, but he's not going to be on every episode of SmackDown leading up to the Rumble, or every episode of Raw leading up to the Rumble. He may be at Elimination Chamber, but so that's my only concern, is that, you know, he won't be there, and Roman's not going to be there all the time. So people already dog Roman because he never defends his championship, and now you're going to have Logan Paul, who's kind of there more. I think he's like a full-time, part-time guy. Like he's there more often than he's not, but he's also not there a lot at the same time.
Well, he'll be there more than Roman. And I think if he wins the belt, he'll be invested. Like I said, I think he truly wants to be a WWE superstar. I think that's going to change. I think he's done with boxing, and that match was a joke. I think leave it to your brother, and I think he gets paid enough money. I think he'll be all right being just WWE. So we'll see.
I do love Logan Paul, and I'm excited about it. This match with Ray. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see it. I think
it's going to be so good.
It's going to be the high flying that these guys can do, and yeah, it's going to be off the chains. And it's going to, not that Ricochet wasn't good at SummerSlam, because he was too, but this match I think is going to really showcase what Logan Paul can do as a wrestler.
I agree.
So, all right, and then on the main event of SmackDown, we saw Io Sky somehow, some way retain her championship, her women's championship, over Charlotte Flair. And you know, I was surprised at this. I really thought Charlotte Flair was going to walk out with the women's championship. I thought Io Sky, I thought her time.
I lit a candle so for her not to win, so it worked.
Speaking of John Cena, you know, I thought Io Sky's time was up and Charlotte Flair's time was now. You can't see me, or time is now. I honestly thought it was happening. And you know, Bayley made her presence known in the match, and you know, she kept her. She helped save Io Sky a couple of times. She put her foot on the bottom rope. Charlotte got distracted, and you know, they hit her with the championship, and that's when Io Sky got the win. 1, 2, 3. But then Bianca Belair comes out moments later, and her and Charlotte Flair just clear house of the heels, the dastardly heels that is Damage Control. They take them all out, and Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair stand tall at the conclusion of Monday Night Raw. And I'm going to be honest, it was what it was. I wasn't excited to see Bianca Belair, but I wasn't upset to see her. It was just kind of like, I don't know. the crowd's reaction also, they didn't really seem invested in too much into it. It kind of felt like I don't know if they knew it was coming or if they just didn't seem, I don't know. They just didn't seem all that into it either. Like when she came out, the pop wasn't what I thought it was going to be for a big return. And it just like, again, just happens. Like, why couldn't you come out if you care about your friend Charlotte Flair? Why didn't you come out and at the beginning of the match or in the middle of the match and, help if you want Charlotte Flair to win, help Charlotte Flair take out Damage Control then. But she comes out immediately after the match and they clear house. And I don't know. I'm not really.
They're friends, by the way. I didn't.
I guess, yeah. I guess they were.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah, they were teaming up before she went out on her hiatus or whatever. But that's the other thing. Like they've been feuding on and off throughout their time, and now they're randomly friends, and it's just like, where did all this come from? There's no story. There's no reason that they should be. They should be both be going after Io Sky, and instead it's like, hey, let's be friends, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. So. Am I excited to see Bianca? Sure. Am I upset that she's there? No. But the return fell a little flat for me.
Well, on both of those things, because I don't care, and I am upset she returned because it was a dumb return.
Yeah.
I think two reasons why the fans don't care when she returned. One, why the heck is she saving Charlotte Flair? And two, nobody likes her. She's boring. She is the John Cena of the women's division, and she has been. She's been thrust down our throats. The last 2 years at Mania, people wanted her to lose. She didn't lose. She beats people she's not supposed to beat. She's been doing the same. She needs a heel turn, 100%. I will care about her when she turns heel. 90% of fans will care about her once she turns heel. Nobody wants to see Bianca come out and swing her hair around and do the same stupid move and lift people up and wave to fans. No, we're over that. She needs to turn heel, join Bobby Lashley and her boyfriend, and start beating people up. The end. That's all I got about Bianca Belair.
Now, I do think a heel turn might be coming. I really do. And here's why. Just little nuances, right? So what color does Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits wear right now? They wear gold.
Yes.
And what color did Bianca Belair have on when she came out?
Was she wearing gold?
She had a little gold outfit on. So,
I like gold.
So I could see maybe this is how she turns heel. She turns on Charlotte Flair and it starts a non-title feud between Bianca and Charlotte.
And join her man. She should.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping, because that'll help her. That group is struggling right now, and
Bianca Belair would help.
Yeah, Bianca Belair would help them in a big way. So we'll see what happens. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, I agree. By the way, we had just done our Smash or Pass on our TikTok. Follow it if you haven't. Get to following it. We do exclusive content about them three, Damage Control, and the entire match. All I could think about was, dang, I want to smash all three of them.
Oh yeah,
Bayley was looking good too. Anyway, continue on. Let's go to Monday Night Raw. Let's go to Monday. And Dakota Kai can keep that brace on too, bro. She'll need it. All right, Monday Night Raw, and I want to open up with the opening. I'm going to open up at the opening. Dakota Kai. And Judgment Day opened up. We had Finn Balor and Damian Priest, 8 weeks later, bragging about how they won the tag team titles. They had a celebration, and it was pretty good, and they were running their mouths and yada, 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 yada. And out comes Cody Rhodes to bore the crowd to sleep. And he ran his mouth, and they put a beat down on him. They took his leg, put it up against the steel steps with a chair and smashed it. There was no Jey Uso for the save. Nobody. Goldust didn't save him. They walked out. Damian Priest was throwing his hands in the air like he just won the Super Bowl. They're facing off at Crown Jewel, where Cody's probably going to win. But nonetheless, it was a nice opening for Judgment Day. I loved everything about it. I love the importance of it. I love that we're over them beefing. I love that JD McDonough is getting on his good side again, and Priest was okay with him helping him out, beating up Cody Rhodes because JD came out. This is what I want from Judgment Day, and yeah, man. I mean, sign me up. And it led to Priest winning later on in the night. So Damian Priest, which you'll get more into, beating Sami Uso, which I thought was a good win for Damian Priest because he needs some wins. You got to have the person with the briefcase feel important. So when he cashes in, it feels like you actually believe he'll do it. He feels like a threat right now. He needs to beat Cody at Crown Jewel. The end. He won't, because nobody beats Cody but Roman. But he needs to beat Cody at Crown Jewel. But yeah, what did you think? I thought it was a hot opening, man. I liked it. I liked seeing. I know you texted me saying you were over Cody with the fake injury again.
Yeah, come on.
But I did like Judgment Day being the ones to do it.
No, Judgment Day looked good, and Damian Priest held his own against Cody Rhodes on the mic, basically saying that, I guess it sounds like it's the story that you're trying to finish is one where you fail. And just it's a good line because he's right. What is the story? What's the story about? What are you talking about? You keep saying finish the story. What does that mean? So he's kind of speaking on behalf of all the fans out there who are not fans of Cody Rhodes. That like, what is this story that you speak of? But so I thought Damian Priest held his own very well, and I loved that the Judgment Day looked like a dominant and killer faction. I love that they followed through. I really thought that when they put the Cody Rhodes' leg on the chair, I thought that's when Jey Uso was going to come out and take them all out one by one like he likes to do, and then that he was going to come at the right time to make the save, but that obviously didn't happen. And
he's turning heel again.
They followed through on the actual attack. Now, I am over the quote unquote storyline injury of Cody Rhodes, another injury angle where he has to overcome the odds yet again. He's got everything stacked against him yet again. No, he doesn't. It's a fake injury, and it's just like we just saw this with Brock Lesnar, where Cody broke his arm, and he couldn't even compete at Backlash. And the fact that he's willing to go in there, it's just like I'm over this injury angle for Cody Rhodes. If you want to have him overcome adversity, fine. If you want to have him overcome the odds to get back to Roman Reigns, completely fine. But whatever happened to hard times with Cody Rhodes? What happened to that was the whole thing after the Raw after WrestleMania when Brock attacked him was he needs to go through adversity. But he beat Brock twice out of 3 matches. Then he turned around and beat Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank
15 times.
And then he beat Brock again at SummerSlam. And then him and Jey Uso, he wasn't on Payback. And then him and Jey Uso win the tag team titles at Fastlane. Then they lose them 8 days later to the Judgment Day. So what is the adversity Cody Rhodes is facing? Because he hasn't been pinned. Oh, the only person that's pinned him is Roman Reigns.
Okay. So what about this? What if his adversity now is that he has his leg injury and Priest beats him? And maybe he gets on a little bit of a losing streak, and maybe he feels like my story isn't going anywhere, and maybe he loses again after Damian Priest, and maybe and then he has to overcome it by winning the Rumble or working his way to WrestleMania 40 to beat Roman.
He's going to enter the Rumble at number 1, and
win it all 100%. So once again, like maybe that's where. Are you okay with that? Are you okay?
I'm okay with it. Yes.
A true adversity storyline.
Yeah, true adversity that starts now and culminates at WrestleMania. I'd be okay with that, but I don't want to see him, come like the ending of Raw. He came out and fought everybody off with one leg. I was like, okay, like I guess we're not going to get that. We're not going to get that injury story.
He was legit limping too while he's kicking everybody's butt. Like couldn't even.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm over the injury angle to Cody Rhodes. I mean, you let the man wrestle a Hell in a Cell with a torn pec, so I get it. He's tough. I'll never question the man's toughness, but you don't have to. We can come up with other ways to take Cody Rhodes out of the equation without doing fake injuries. So that's my 2 cents. But I love Judgment Day. Judgment Day stood tall.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, baby.
And speaking of Judgment Day, I want to talk about Rhea Ripley. And she had herself a night on Monday Night Raw. There was at one point where she was in like 4 or 5 segments in a row. Where I was like, man, Rhea's there again. So she had herself a night. She was in the opening. She came out at the very end of the opening segment. And then they had the contract signing with the 4 women. And Rhea was at ringside while everyone was just beating each other up. And she was just kind of watching all of that. And then she was backstage she interrupted the Miz's promo with Adam Pearce to officially sign her name on the contract with the Fatal 5-Way match, making that official at Crown Jewel. And then she showed up. She was playing mind games with Seth Rollins. When Seth Rollins showed up to the arena, she stops him in the middle of the hallway and basically, says that he should join the Judgment Day. We'll have your back. We'll take care of you. We'll watch you. We'll make sure everything's okay. Imagine having a group behind you that will support you, and maybe you'll be a champion like Roman Reigns is. And Seth Rollins ended it with, I don't want to be anywhere near the champion Roman Reigns is. You don't want to hold a belt for 1,000 days.
That's what I put on my TikTok. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. You don't want to be a champion of you. You don't want to be the champion that Roman Reigns is. Literally, he's in God mode. Okay, whatever. You call yourself the Monday Night Messiah, but you don't want to be in God mode. Like, whatever. Bro. But yeah, that was interesting. And then Drew McIntyre had a match with Sami Zayn, and Rhea Ripley came out yet again and played distraction to Sami Zayn, and Drew McIntyre got the pin. And after the match, Drew McIntyre just walked right on by Rhea Ripley, didn't thank her, didn't acknowledge her, didn't raise. She didn't raise his hand. He just walked right on out of the ring. And then I mean, she had herself a night. She was in almost every single segment. Rhea's just killing it right now as the women's champ. So yeah, kudos.
And leader of Judgment Day. She did have a smirk when he walked by. And also then Seth and Drew bickered in the backstage where Drew was like trying to put it on Seth. Oh, I don't want the Judgment Day there. I don't want them. Then Seth's like, I don't want the Judgment Day. I hate the Judgment Day. There's tension. So
I'm digging it.
Rhea had a great night. The end. She did it. And she also had the kissy of Dom in the back too, because he hurt his chin. And
I forgot about
gorgeous
that.
he is. I'm about to post that TikTok today.
That gorgeous face. Yeah.
And he's like, I know. It was so cute. And he's, they are, aren't they? They're what everybody thrives to be. They are, but just she is legit killing it. I love the mind games. So the mind games, they're leading to Damian Priest cashing in at Crown Jewel, correct? I know we have next week we have predictions, but correct.
I hope so.
I mean, I'm feeling this is where this is going. Priest needs to cash in, and I feel like Rhea is the puppet master in it all. So
it has to lead to him cashing in. I feel like it's now or never for Damian Priest, because if he doesn't do it now, when's he going to do it? At Royal Rumble? Is he going to do it at WrestleMania? Is he going to do it? I mean, is he going to do it on Roman? Like, I don't know. Like, it just feels like it's now or never for Damian Priest. Now, I may throw a bone to you and say that he doesn't cash in and he waits until Cody Rhodes dethrones Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, and then he cashes in there.
What I wanted Theory to do last year,
and then he keeps you keep the Judgment Day Cody Rhodes story going post WrestleMania with Damian Priest as champ. I can see that.
Nah, but I'm done with this Cody Rhodes Judgment Day. That's all we've had for the past 8 months.
That's true.
I think Damian cashes now. I don't think they want him to be the champ at Mania, but I think he does cash in. So I think it's happening. I think it's.
I hope so. It's got to happen soon. But So, but Rhea had herself a night. It was a good night for Rhea.
She did.
And
she's the best thing going on in WWE today. The end. Minus this person. And let's talk about the best duo ever put together. It might be one night only, which I'm okay with because I enjoyed it, or maybe we'll get even more of it. But we had a little bit of Logan Paul and the man, Dirty Dom. And Logan Paul came out talking mess about Rey Mysterio, and out came Dirty Dom. And holy cow, these were his biggest boos I've ever heard. I know I say it every week, but these boos were definite. You couldn't hear anything either of them were saying. And they were booing Logan Paul. It shows how much heat he gets. And both of them, these are the two probably biggest heels in WWE today together. How brilliant was that? Triple H, whoever signed up for that, sign me up. And here's the thing though, okay, with this segment. They did this segment. They brought them both out. Ricochet interfered, right? Cleared house, beat them both up, cleared house. With that said, what I'm worried about with this segment is I think we are getting Logan Paul losing to Rey at Crown Jewel because Ricochet is going to interfere. We're going to get Logan Paul and Ricochet longer, and we're going to get Dirty Dom and possibly Rey, which I'm okay with. But I think Logan Paul should win at Crown Jewel, but this is just telling me that Ricochet and Logan Paul aren't done yet. And WWE doesn't do like AEW where they have 45 people, one person having a whole bunch of different storylines. They try to keep it just one. So that's the only downfall of this. But holy cow, man, this was like, if you haven't seen this, go back and watch two people who are phenomenal at what they're doing right now at getting heat, the crowd reacting, and them going back and forth about how Rey's a deadbeat dad and what Dom has gone through and trying to hear them and Logan defending. Because when Dirty Dom came out, it seemed like, wait, is he going to like have beef with Logan Paul? Logan Paul was like, whoa, let him come out. This man's a champion. And it was good stuff. But at the same time, how cool would it be to see Logan Paul and Dirty Dom, both the champions, kind of rolling together? I know it can't happen because he's in Judgment Day and Logan Paul's not getting in Judgment Day, but either way, if it's a one-off, I dug it. But are you thinking this is going to Logan Paul losing now because Ricochet is going to interfere? I mean, he was talking about his girl again. He brought her fine ass up into the ring. I mean, it's obviously like we're not ignoring Ricochet. So does Logan Paul win the U.S. title, then feud with Ricochet? Because that's a better idea. Or are we getting Logan Paul losing?
I think I think it's the former than the latter. I think Logan Paul is going to win and feud with Ricochet. And Ray's going to move on to other things. I think Logan Paul's going to, but then again, maybe they're going to have to do something because the U.S. title is a SmackDown title, and and Ricochet's a Raw person. So maybe they do something at Survivor Series, and it leads to another match that way or something. I don't know what they're going to do, but I love this segment. This segment was gold. I want to see more Logan Paul, Dirty Dom. Logan Paul's talked on his podcast about starting a tag team with Dominic Mysterio. They think that they would get ultimate heat magnets, and
100%.
It would be fantastic. And so I definitely want to see it, especially if Dirty Dom somehow gets out of the Judgment Day and he continues his heel ways.
No,
tag him up with Logan Paul. Not now.
Okay
not now.
Yeah,
not anytime soon. But all factions end eventually, and the Judgment Day will end in probably a year or so. And when that happens, keep Dominic's heel heat going by putting him with Logan Paul. And I think that would be I'd be down for that. Let them win the tag titles and all that fun stuff. So I love what they're doing with Logan Paul. The Ricochet thing, I'm not feeling that, man, because he's been I get that Logan Paul called Samantha Irvin into the ring and basically was like, how did it feel when you had to announce me as the winner at SummerSlam, baby? Like all this stuff. So I get Ricochet coming in and standing up for his girl, but you talk about randomness. He's been feuding with Shinsuke over the last couple of weeks, and he had that Falls Count Anywhere match where he did a shooting star press off of the out into the crowd, off of the
which was awesome
or something.
Yeah,
it was a cool move, but now all of a sudden you're moving on from that and you're getting back into the Logan Paul feud. It just felt like there was no build for Ricochet to be out there.
And Shinsuke called out Ricochet on the show, did he not? And his promo, I thought he called out Ricochet again. So I was very confused by that too.
He did like one of those vignettes where he said that he was happy to give Ricochet his experience, and so I don't know.
All right.
So double booking right now, and we killed Tony Khan for that. They don't need to be double booking Ricochet right now.
I agree.
Logan Paul.
I agree.
All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about with Raw is main event Jey Uso, and how I'm not really digging him as a single star right now. I feel like ever since he came back, quote unquote, to the WWE when Cody Rhodes had his backstage pool, which Cody should be the biggest heel in wrestling right now for doing that, breaking up Sami Zayn and KO, bringing Jey Uso over to Monday Night Raw, pissing off the entire Raw locker room. Why is he not a heel? But Jey Uso, since he came back to Raw, his promos have been a little flat. The coolest thing about him is his entrance and his theme song where he's doing this baby, but everything else, he's losing matches. He lost again to Damian Priest, which I'm not clowning Damian Priest for losing. I'm actually glad that he got the win, and it's a much needed win. You can't have Judgment Day losing. I feel like we say this every week. Judgment Day needs to be on top. They need to continue to win. You can't take a faction seriously if they lose all the time. But at the same time, Jey Uso is losing a lot. He got pinned by he got pinned to lose the tag titles last week on Raw. He got pinned this week. He got pinned in one of his first matches back against Drew McIntyre. He's losing regularly since he's been a single star, and I think that's killing his momentum a little bit. And I know we got to see him come out on SmackDown, and he interrupted the John Cena retirement speech that I was talking about earlier, and because Jimmy attacked him and Solo attacked him and Jay came out and cleared house. And so he's still got this thing going on with Jimmy. But other than that, I want to see him do that match and then immediately go back to his brother. Cause I'm not feeling this singles run right now for main event Jey Uso. For a guy who calls himself main event, he sure loses all the time in the main event.
But he's in it. He doesn't say win main event Jey Uso. He's just main event Jey Uso.
That's true.
But here's the thing. When he came, so they split up, him and Jimmy, and I felt like they were doing Jey right. He came over, he was running his mouth, he was sticking it to people, this and that. what happened with Jay is that he paired up with Cody. Once again, you can't be, it's just me, Oos.
Day one ish.
Me, Oos. No, it's not just
Which,
you.
like, you can't be just you day one ish. When you've teamed with Jimmy since day one ish, you've teamed with Cody.
It's all stupid. And then they had Jimmy split, and he was getting his butt kicked and getting punked by everybody. Now I feel like in a matter of a month or so, it's switched. Now Jay is losing, and he feels irrelevant and pointless and like a little punk. And Jimmy feels like the BA who's over here telling Roman, I'm the backup quarterback. This SmackDown, he once again was like, yo, he's out. I'm in. I'm the backup quarterback. I zigzag this, that, this. He's awesome. Now he's winning, and Jay isn't. So they need to, I think what WWE and Triple H need to do is figure out what they want to do with the Usos, number one. Because now they're fighting each other too. And are we going to go to that already? No, thanks. We need to figure out what we're doing with these guys and then go from there. But I agree with you right now. Jay he's not winning right now. That's for sure. And he looks like he's a lost puppy without Cody. And that's stupid. He needed to just be on his own or join the damn Judgment Day. But maybe he is going to be a heel soon. I don't know. He didn't come out and save Cody. He's losing a lot. Maybe that's going to start some frustration. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. We'll see. But I agree with you. I think Jay is just missing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah,
and Jimmy's winning.
Yeah, and then of course Cody Rhodes comes limping out after the main event and saves Jey Uso yet again from the coup de grace and the suffering the same fate that Cody Rhodes suffered earlier in the night, the broken leg that he can magically walk on. So
I agree.
I agree. But Jey Uso's flat right now, and they need something to boost him.
Yep. I agree. So let's get into some NXT. You ready? Let's get into the hottest and best show, in my opinion, of the week. That is NXT. And this was Halloween Havoc Night 1. And I was confused on the Night 1, Night 2 thing because they hadn't really promoted Night 2. Now Night 2 is looking pretty stacked. I don't know why they had to do 2 nights. I didn't know Halloween Havoc was WrestleMania. But nonetheless, a lot of good things happened. A lot of fun happened on this show. And I want to talk about the boys. Chase U, baby. Chase U has been around definitely since NXT 2.0. They were around before NXT 2.0, if I'm correct. But they have been kind of like the cornerstone of NXT, of the new NXT, and what they've been doing, and Andre Chase, and adding in people and this and that. And with Thea Hall, I like that Thea Hall left, and she's coming back now, kind of with JC Jane, who needed something to do. But Chase U fought Tony D and his homie. And I didn't think Chase U was going to win. I thought they just won the belts. Tony D's pretty hot right now. But they lost. And I know it was random and kind of out of the blue, but I do like it. I think Chase U, when you look in the crowd at NXT, it's all Chase U shirts. Chase U's always, they're on every single week. There's never been a week of NXT where we didn't talk about Chase U, whether it be a class or a promo or something. Chase U deserves some gold. And I'm happy these two won it. And I'm glad that JC Jane and Thea Hell were with them and didn't kind of cost them. I'm glad there was no swerve. And after they won, they're backstage, and in comes Chelsea Green and her tag team partner Piper Naveen, and they're over here trying to run their mouths dressed up as a Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf, I believe, and because it was Halloween Havoc. And they basically are running their mouths at Thea Hell and JC Jane, and they're like, "Hey, how about you face us next week for the tag team? It's next week, right? I believe in part 2, night 2, for the tag team women's titles." And I have a feeling Chase U is about to have all the gold, baby, and I'm all for it. I think it'll be super cool. I think Thea Hell and JC Jane are way better than Chelsea Green and Piper Nevin right now. I don't think they're doing anything with it other than sucking it up and losing. And I love me some Chelsea Green. Have you been seeing her Instagram and TikToks lately?
Yeah, she's
holy.
Talk about somebody who's got it going on. Yeah.
Woo, man.
Zack Ryder's a lucky man.
Zack Ryder, yeah.
Woo woo. Woo.
You know it, baby. But hot damn. But anyway, but I like what they're doing. And my big ups for NXT out of everything that was going on because there was a lot of good stuff going on, was Chase U winning the gold. So, and I hope that they got all the gold pretty soon.
Yeah, that would be ideal. They need it. And again, factions always look better when they all hold gold. And you had the Bloodline doing it, Judgment Day. Now you can have Chase U all having gold. So make that happen. I want to talk about more ups on NXT Halloween Havoc Night 1, and I didn't tell you about this. I just thought of it when we talked about it. But the women on this show, this was like the women. Right. There was a lot of women's matches on this show, and they all stole the show. There was not a bad match at all. Some questionable outcomes, but not a bad match at all on this card. And this was a women-focused show. You had the women's breakout tournament with Lola Vice and Carmen Petrovic and Kalani Jordan and Ariana Grace. You had Roxanne Perez and Kiana James. You had Gigi Dolan and Blair Davenport in a match. You had Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria in a banger of a match. I mean, the women absolutely stole the show. And then you had the backstage segments, like you said, with Chase U and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. The women were killing it on this show. This was a very women, and that's one of my favorite things about NXT is I feel like the main roster, they kind of struggle with, they have like one main women's storyline.
Charlotte,
yeah, and then that's it. And then Raw has one main women's storyline where it's Rhea Ripley versus the entire women's division, and that's it. Even like Piper Niven and Chelsea Green can't have a legit feud with anybody because they're looked at as jokes. NXT, man, they have side feuds for titles. They have side feuds for no titles. They have secondary feuds and main feuds that seem important. And, nobody's getting buried in the NXT roster in the women's division. Everybody, Halloween Havoc Night 1, really, like, if all of these women get called up to the main roster, the future of women's wrestling in the WWE is extremely bright. So Shawn Michaels he's doing his thing right now with the women's division in NXT. And I think they have, besides Impact, I think NXT may have the best women's division in pro wrestling.
I agree with you. The only thing I think is the downfall is that none of them feel like stars yet. They're all still important, but they don't feel like stars. And we'll get into that with Becky Lynch on our segment. But I do like what you're saying. And it was more, I think there was more women on the show than there were men. And they were all good. Every single one of them. And even the up-and-comer Bright Star tournament was good. And even the one girl, I mean, she's from MMA, Valerie, what's her name in real life? Her name's Valerie, but her name, she's the hot Latina. But she used to do that dance and those moves when she was in Bellator and when she used to fight, and now she's over here in the WWE. I like it all. Everything that went on in that Gigi Dolan match. Woo!
That Beetlejuice stuff she was wearing.
The Beetlejuice, everything. Well, and just that the two hosts were females. I mean, I know we got the return of Scarlett. I guess her husband is no longer in WWE, wink, wink, but Karrion Kross is no. And she wasn't Scarlett Bordeaux. Did they get rid of that last name?
Yeah, they must Scarlett. Have. Yeah, she was Scarlett.
But holy cow, Scarlett. Ay, chihuahua. Dude, WWE with their women, man. I'm telling you, I can't get enough of it. Talented and hot. That's a very hard thing to find. But I agree with you. I thought it was a good night for the women and good on Sean. And I think it carries on next week, and let's see some Thea Hell and JC Jane with those tag team titles.
We also saw Jade Cargill. We didn't, she showed up in a throne, sitting on a throne, watching the main event. So
and like a see-through dress, I was mind boggled.
The women's division is thriving right now in NXT. So I agree. I was happy to see that.
I agree. All right, segment time. You ready?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
segment time. And this week, we are going back to the one that you created not too long ago from a show that you love to watch called...
It's time for another good idea, bad idea.
And this we talk about something that we thought would be a good idea, but WWE turned into a bad idea. As always, my man, the dude who used to roommate with Sami Zayn in college, Mr. Shooting Star Press. What's up? You start off with your first good idea, bad idea. Let's hear it.
Good idea. Dominic Mysterio playing the role of having a deadbeat father.
Bad idea.
Sorry, clicked it too many times.
Really bad idea.
Yeah, Brian Pillman Jr., aka Lexus King, playing the role of having a deadbeat father. Like, what are they doing? Why are I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I didn't care for his debut match either. I thought I was more impressed by the guy that he squashed than I was Lexus King. He got a lot of good offense in, and he looked good. But Brian Pillman Jr. I'm gonna call him Brian Pillman Jr. no matter what. But I don't understand this whole like I hate my father type thing. I don't want to live in the legacy of my father. We already have somebody who hates his father. And we already have somebody who doesn't want to follow in the footsteps of his dad. And his name is Dirty Dom, and he's the new NXT North American champion. you may have heard of him. He's been to prison, and he's with Rhea Ripley, and he's he's got more. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I thought the vignettes and everything were cool with Lexus King coming into WWE and making his presence known on NXT, and I think his presentation looks good. I think the vignettes. I think NXT is the perfect place for him, but I'm not sure how I'm feeling about him not wanting to be following his father's legacy and following his father's footsteps. So yeah, I'm not really feeling this name change for him right now.
No, I'm not at all. And here's the thing too, is that in real life, Rey Mysterio is a deadbeat dad. Boom.
Yeah.
So it's
he bought Dominic a Mercedes, or he bought him what did he buy him? A BMW when he wanted a Mercedes?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Ray.
Yeah. Way to be a deadbeat dad. So, but he spanked him on national TV on WrestleMania. Well, not national, but national pay-per-view television. But here's the thing too, is that I don't like that. Why is he not following in Brian Pillman's footsteps? Like Brian Pillman was like, he wrestled, right? Brian Pillman was never a tactical. He wasn't this like great wrestler. He was just erratic, and his personality and his presentation was what made Brian Pillman so great in the ring, was his storytelling and who he was as Brian Pillman. That's what Brian Pillman Jr. had to do, because he doesn't have those skills either. He's not a standalone wrestler to show off in the ring. So he needed that personality. So why take away from it? I don't know whose booking idea this was, if it was his or Triple H's or somebody else's. It's a horrible decision. I also didn't like that Booker T was clowning Brian Pillman on the mic the entire night, saying that nobody's ever cared about him. I don't know one person who likes him, and this dude has passed away. He's a good dude. Like, why are we? I get it's an angle, but yeah, 100% the gun. But it like, none of this is just, I don't get it. I didn't like it, and I think he should have followed in Brian Pillman's foot. You don't gotta be him, but you can keep his damn name. Like, I don't know. I'm not getting it. And his first match, it should have been a squash and a banger, and it wasn't. He literally was getting beat up half the time, and then he barely won. So I don't know what they're doing with him, but this was a huge miss. His beard is a huge miss. His hair is a huge miss. This ain't it. Maybe this is why AEW wasn't using him. I don't know. I have no idea, but this was disappointing to me. I agree with you. Good idea, bad idea, for sure.
Yeah, this was a letdown. Big time letdown.
It was. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Hit me. Having Becky Lynch keep the NXT Women's Championship longer and eventually losing it to the red freaking hot, the girl who was watching the match for some reason, Jade freaking Cargill.
Bad idea.
Having Becky Lynch randomly lose the NXT Women's Championship to her friend who's not even hot right now, and I have no idea where this is going, and it didn't even seem like the crowd cared. I'm sorry, Lyra. I have nothing against you at all whatsoever, but this wasn't it. I get that Becky has been trying to promote all her friends and all her, Irish homies or whatever it is, her Scottish homies, and kind of pushing them all, but this was a miss to me. Why have Jade Cargill there watching if you're going to have Becky Lynch lose? Nobody wants Lyra Valkyria versus Jade Cargill. Nobody. And the crowd barely reacted. They cheered, but I think they were more shocked in the fact that why the heck did she just win? Where does she go from it? This would be like LA Knight winning. Like you were saying that, like, oh, the good rub, right? Like Roman winning is, you want Roman to lose to somebody who needs that push, but that push needs to be ready, right? Yeah, that's what Jade Cargill needed, because her push would have been ready. Who was Lyra before this, really? Who has she really wrestled or faced? This really came out of nowhere, and then Becky, I don't know. I think this was a Becky Lynch saying, yo, this is my friend. I like her. I'll win the title as long as I can. Like, why not Hartwell? Hartwell would have been way better. It made more sense if you were going to drop the belt the next night, because she wrestled her on Monday Night Raw. I don't know. I didn't dig it. Am I wrong on this? You let me know.
No, you're not wrong at all. That was a horrible decision to have Becky Lynch lose the title. Especially, I mean, did it maybe I don't know how long I wanted her to hold it. Maybe until WrestleMania. I don't know, but this just felt random. It felt out of place. It didn't feel necessary. And it makes me a little concerned about, Lyra Valkyria. Like, where does she go from here? Is she really going to feud with Jade Cargill? Do we want to see that? I mean, maybe that is a good first feud for Jade. Maybe somebody, and then we build up to Becky Lynch, or we build up to Bianca, or we build up to Charlotte Flair. But I don't know. I don't know why they could have done this. This makes no sense. And we clown AEW all the time for their randomness. This just felt completely random. And let's have a title change for the sake of having a title change. And that's what this felt like.
And
I also
push. Yeah.
I also hate when they have people wrestle for the title on a Monday Night Raw and a Tuesday on NXT, because they're not going to drop the title on Raw. So, and they even interviewed Becky Lynch on Raw, and they said, "Hey, tonight you're defending the title against Indy Hartwell, and then tomorrow night you'll defend your title against, Lyra Valkyria." So it's just like, okay, you just spoiled that she's going to defend tomorrow night too. So I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, what's your last one?
All right, last one.
Good idea.
I want to see the Judgment Day composed of Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dirty Dom, and Rhea Ripley versus the Bloodline, consisting of Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and the newest member, Ava Raine, at Survivor Series in the traditional Survivor Series format.
Bad idea.
The 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series format, SmackDown versus Raw. I don't want to see that. It's pointless. It makes no sense. I've been wanting to see the Bloodline and the Judgment Day go at it for a long time. This is the perfect time to do it, since they're kind of like working together, but they're not working together. Rhea Ripley's calling the shots when Roman's not around, but Roman's around and Judgment Day doesn't show up. So this is the time. This is the time. I want to see the two best factions in the last 20 years in WWE go at it at Survivor Series. You don't have to change titles. You don't have to drop belts. You don't have to, titles don't change hands anyway. Let's make Survivor Series matter, and let's have it be Bloodline versus Judgment Day, and not the traditional SmackDown versus Raw for bragging rights. Like, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, I like it. And have Damian Priest faking in his cash in the whole time, or Damian Priest is already the champ, and now we got the champ and the champ on both sides wrestling each other. I want to see anything but Raw versus SmackDown. I hate that, because then they have to pretend like they're friends, and it's stupid. Get out of my face with that.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm for
that
that.
at all.
Great idea. Great idea. All right, you ready? Last one. You ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good idea.
Logan Paul beat Rey Mysterio at Crown Jewel to win the U.S. Championship.
Okay.
Bad idea.
Logan Paul loses the U.S. title match against Rey Mysterio at Crown Jewel and faces Ricochet again in a non-title match. I don't want to see it. If you want Ricochet and Logan Paul to continue, have it be for the U.S. title. It pushes Logan Paul more. It'll push Ricochet, who's getting a title shot. I'm all for it. And let's put Samantha in a cage, and they'll fight for her.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I don't want to see Ricochet Logan Paul again. I don't want to see Logan Paul lose the U.S. title. I think he needs to win it. He needs to win it. And if Ricochet wants to chase and go after it as a contender, absolutely, sign me up. But having Ricochet cost Logan Paul the match against Rey Mysterio, and that sets up their feud. And it is Survivor Series, so we have Raw Ricochet and SmackDown Logan Paul, and they can go at it with no title. And that's how we culminate this. I'm not feeling that. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I think we need to see Logan Paul hold the U.S. title and hold it for a while and bring some credibility and prestige back to it. And if, like I said, if Ricochet wants to be a contender, let him go for it. But not at the expense of Rey winning.
Yeah, no. And Rey should not keep that title. I mean, he's done nothing with the U.S. Championship. This has been one of the worst reigns ever, worse than Theory's. The only way I see him keeping it, if he's going to go against Dom and unify both the belts at Mania, that's all I see. But other than that, let's be done with it. So, all right.
I'm down with that.
All right, my man. That was WWE edition of Two Dudes with Attitudes. And we got a hot AEW show coming in tomorrow. Lots of things to talk about with AEW this week, because we had Collision, Battle of the Belts, and Dynamite. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And we're going to skip Rampage. Too much to talk about. But yeah, we'll go into Collision, Battle of the Belts, and Dynamite. As always, continue to tune in, continue to watch, subscribe, follow us, check out our TikToks. My man Shooting Star is going to talk about our TikTok too. But I'm Mr. MWO, the dude of Wrestle Talk, and with me as always,
Shooting Star Press. You know where to find us by now. We're 85 episodes in, so if you don't know, now you know. But we are on the TikTok. We're at Two Dudes with Attitudes on TikTok. We're posting exclusive content that's only for people on TikTok, maybe for a week or so, and then we'll put it on our YouTube page. But it's exclusive just for TikTok at first. And yeah, we're growing, man. We're trying to get our subscriber count up, trying to get our followers up. We're almost at 500 subscribers on YouTube. We're 3 away. So keep the followers coming, keep the subscribers coming. Go listen, rate us, review us on Spotify, Apple, all that fun stuff. And everything's an algorithm these days. So if you like what you hear, tell the algorithm, and they'll boost us out a little bit more. So appreciate all the love and support.
All right, let's go. Two Dudes Attitudes Wolfpack. We out.
We are out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday, back to represent. Two dudes with attitudes, yeah, here comes the main event.